Brodes Media.
This is the day after pod. Yes, we are recording this Thursday night, the day after the Phillies get eliminated by the stupid Mets. Soul crushing. Just absolutely soul crushing. And I want you to think about this. This perfectly describes the two clubs. You all saw the way Francisco Lindor trotted around the bases after hitting a grand slam in his home ballpark to advance to the NLCS. Did you see the way he acted? Dude's locked in, right? Now think about the way Alec Boehm acted in the dugout, crying. One team's soft. The other team plays with piss and vinegar. One team's lackadaisical all year long. The other team, well, they set themselves up in a very problematic situation. But you want to talk about tested? You want to talk about resilient? Rob somehow uses that word to describe this team, which is a joke. The Mets, they're resilient. It's the 8th inning. It's the 9th inning. Their OPS is 7 billion. While we can't muster up more than 4 hits in a game. They'll have 4 hits in 4 batters in the 9th, down 1. It's unbelievable. We no longer have the fun Xfinity Live dancing on my own Phillies era anymore. That era died. It's now you have to win us back. And ask the Sixers how difficult that is to do. So how do they? It's a great question. And it's not easy based off of where these contracts are. From a franchise standpoint, and I guess this means I'm looking at John Middleton, and of course, I'll walk through a lot of important names in this organization right now, but I want everyone to be uncomfortable. I want everyone to be uncomfortable. If you're too comfortable, this is what happens. Complacency. Dave Dombrowski has not done a good enough job, regardless of his track record. Do I think he's got more in him? Yes. But that Taiwan Walker contract sucks. And it plays a major role on why this team sort of punted every 5 days. And if you're punting every 5 days, you're acknowledging that it's okay to fail. Once a week. You're telling me that had nothing to do with the mentality? That's above Rob. This is a president of baseball operations message. It's okay to lose once a week. Don't worry about it. Terrible. The mindset is flawed. Let's look at Trey Turner's deal. Yo, Dave, he can't play his position, and he's nowhere close to consistent enough to justify the contract. Big swing and a miss, and you're stuck with him, I think. Him and Boehm would be the two that I would really try to move. Sorry, Bryce. I hate to break it to you. I know he's your guy. But it's time to make Bryce uncomfortable too. I'm not going to ridicule him as much as what I've heard today all throughout Sports Talk Radio due to him not putting the entire team on his back. He hit over 300. He walked a bunch of times. Him and Nick Castellanos offensively were the least of my worries. But I do despise the whole wearing T-shirts, sign JT, bring in my friends. Well, I don't want to deal with this back end of the JT Realmuto contract because the guy can't play anymore. He's extremely banged up, and we are now paying the price for it. That may not hurt you long term because there's only 1 year left on the deal. I don't know if that change is even enough. That's the thing. You're so limited in what you can do. What can really create that wow move in that clubhouse? And I have one that's on my mind, and I don't like it because I don't think Rob deserves to be fired. But that's what almost makes it be so impactful. Now, let me get this off my chest to start. Will John Middleton do that? And Dave Dombrowski, I get, no. No, I don't think Rob Thompson's getting fired. The players lost this series way more than Rob lost this series. With that, Rob wasn't good. Rob was not good. The 6th inning Hoffman thing was a disaster. It was absolutely pathetic. You're also in that predicament because your 5th starter can't even be on the playoff roster, and you have to go to work, albeit Ranger was a dog and my guy battled. But you put yourself in those positions where he has to throw 1,000 pitches to even get through, 4+ innings of work? And what happens when you have to yank your starter, who already is very questionable as it is, health-wise, so early in a game? You got to run through a bullpen. But when your bullpen isn't excelling and you're missing an arm that's a starter that could theoretically be in the bullpen to help you out when a starter has to get yanked early, you don't even have that option. See what I'm saying here? But still, Rob still could have been way quicker on the Jeff Hoffman move. And I don't know if you get a grand slam from Francisco Lindor if you're quicker. But anyway, he doesn't deserve to be fired. But I want something to happen that really shakes everything up. I want you to be on edge. And you may be thinking, is that right? Let's think of any work environment. When you walk through the doors at your job, and if you despise who you're working with, if the mojo is off, if it's bad to be in the same room as other people every day, are you as efficient as you should be? Well, don't get it to that point. There is a happy medium. When you're too comfortable, we see the repercussions of that. And I don't want it to be where you hate everybody. You're telling me there's no middle ground? The whole we love each other thing, one, I don't even know if it's true anymore. But two, it didn't work. I don't know how the guys feel about BOHM, but there's internal conflict with BOHM. It's sort of, I don't know if it's entitlement. It could be entitlement. BOHM gets an all-star nod, and now he thinks all of a sudden he's Willie Mays, or he's Hank Aaron, or he's just the greatest baseball player to ever exist. I'm not sure. Maybe entitlement is a big part of this. But it doesn't seem there's that close bond anymore. And there's some sour grapes in the mix. You got to remove them and then still have everybody on their toes at the same time. We tried the other way. I don't want to be here, but you had your opportunities and you clearly missed. The most obvious guy to get canned is Kevin Long. I don't ever want to see Kevin Long again. I don't want to see Kevin Long. I don't care that Trey Turner signed here because of Kevin Long. I don't care what Kyle Schwarber says about Kevin Long. I don't care what Bryce Harper says about Kevin Long. Kevin Long hasn't worked. The reason why this team sucks is because their approach at the plate. Who's in charge of their approach at the plate? Hitting coach. No. Part of it. Gotta go. I don't want to fire Rob, even though I don't think he maximized the team. Because he does do a lot of good things too. And once again, the players' lack of execution is a bigger ordeal. The lack of talent on the roster, a bigger ordeal. Hell, we may have learned that the guys in the bullpen are just soft as baby shit. Maybe Jeff Hoffman, cool story. I'm talking about winning in the playoffs, though. How he was found, cute. Are you able to be found in the postseason with an ERA that satisfies me? Because as of now, the answer is no. The answer is you're throwing balls in the dirt and giving the Mets free passes. Estevez, hear me out. Did it have to be a grand slam? It's a really rough spot to get thrown into. Did it have to be a nuke? What if the Mets scored 2 runs? What if you stopped the bleeding at 2 runs to keep it at 2-1? I'm not saying you got to get out of the inning unscathed. I'm not saying that. But the worst case scenario in the entire world happened. It couldn't be anything less than that. Maybe Matt Strom can't get it done that time of the year. And if that's the case, it doesn't really matter who Rob goes to. They were all failing. A 12 ERA I can't put on the manager. But you sure can get guys out quicker. And here's something that did piss me off with Rob. Go back to the 8th inning. Alec Boehm gets screwed on the non-fair ball call. That would be a foul ball. The foul ball call? Okay. Unless I'm missing something. Did anybody see Rob Thompson react? The season's on the line, right? Your playoff life is very short-lived if you can't pull this game out of your ass. You get hosed on a very brutal call by the first base ump. And you don't do anything? And you don't go out there and march into the face of the umpire and start screaming? You don't see spit flying out of Topper's mouth? This is the game on the line. You got to protect your team. No pulse, which describes the way this team played in this series. No pulse. Crazy. It really is crazy. Here's something that I do think can actually help create something new. And I've been a huge supporter of what they've done with Kyle Schwarber since they plopped him into that leadoff spot. But I do think you can create a new personality with moving Kyle Schwarber. Him batting leadoff was not the reason why this team wasn't able to capture magic this season. But I need to do a lot of things differently now. Stott's not ready to be a leadoff hitter yet. He did not hit good enough. Do not try and tell yourself that he's good. He's good enough right now. He's not good enough right now. I like Stott, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm not putting Trey Turner at number 1. No. I don't know exactly what I would do. But I know that can create a new brand of baseball potentially. And I can't have him batting close to Bryce back to back because of the lefties. I guess that means just sort of talking through this a little bit. What if Bryce led off? What if you went Bryce? See, I don't want Boehm here, and I don't know who's going to be here to replace him. I don't want Trey batting second, but with that contract, they're going to justify the contract by batting him up at the top. So, if you flip-flop Bryce and Kyle, is that much of a facelift? No, it's not. It's not. So you need to do more than that. But we're very raw in this. We're going to be throwing a bunch of different stuff at the wall to see what sticks.